Participles are distinctive in that, depending on the context, they can have one of two parts of speech. That is, participles can be part of a verb, but they also can have a separate life as adjectives. So participles can be verbs and participles can be adjectives, and sometimes when they are adjectives, they form participial phrases with other words. So that's what we're going to cover here. What is a participial phrase, and what is a participle? How does a participle act when it's an adjective? How does it act when it's a verb? Okay, so I am wearing a hat. The verb here is two words long. It is am wearing. And wearing is the present participle, and it is part of the verb, so it's part of speech here is verb. In this sentence, time had worn holes in his shoes. The verb here, likewise, two words long. Had worn, time is the subject. What had it done? Time had worn holes in his shoes. And worn here is the past participle being the form of a verb when used in conjunction with a form of the auxiliary verb to have. And here that is had. Time had worn. So here is a present participle as a verb. Here is a past participle as a verb. Now, the worn eraser looked pathetic. So here, you know, you've got a pencil, a little stubby eraser at the end, and it looks kind of sad, pathetic. So that's what kind of eraser is it? What kind of eraser? A worn eraser. And when things answer that question, what kind of, they are acting as adjectives. But as you see, worn, it's the same. It's the past participle of to wear. But here, its part of speech is adjective. It is acting as an adjective, all on its own. A standalone adjective. So if it were the big worn eraser looked pathetic, then big would be an adjective all on its own. Worn would be an adjective all on its own. But participles can also form phrases with other words. So, for example, in this sentence, the clothes worn in these parts are odd. The clothes worn in these parts are odd. Now, let's ask the question, which clothes? Which clothes? The ones worn in these parts. That's which clothes. So, worn in these parts is a participial phrase, and it functions as an adjective. It begins with, we do not say past participial phrase, we just say participial phrase, whether it begins with a past participle or a present participle. So, worn in these parts is a participial phrase. It functions as an adjective. It modifies clothes. The guy wearing a tie is a loser. Okay, which guy? The one wearing a tie. That's which guy. So, wearing a tie is a participial phrase, this time with a present participle. It has the same name, whether it's present or past. Wearing a tie. And notice that wearing, again, can't be a verb. Even though the guy is wearing the tie, you can't say guy wearing. Guy wearing a tie. There's no sentence there, and that means there's no subject-verb combination there. So this wearing a tie is a participial phrase functioning as an adjective, modifying guy. So participles, they can be in verbs, they can be, the part of speech can be verb, but they can wander away from that, and they can become adjectives, and they can even become part of adjectival phrases, in particular participial phrases, that modify nouns.